Hello everyone, Silva here. Welcome to the next video in my Fred introduction series. In this video we will have a look at the background editor. This editor gives you everything you need to have your missions take place in something else than just a plain empty starfield. Here you have several options to spice up the background looks of your mission. Let's start with the easier ones. In the middle left area you have the opportunity to place your mission into a nebula, which means that all of the ships will fly inside a giant gas cloud of various colors, with lightning storm or without. You can even select a lightning storm that has EMP characteristics, which makes it interfere with ship systems. For a nebula setting you can select one of several different color patterns. You can select which nuances the clouds shall have by ticking the checkboxes. Range means the sensor range for ships to show up on the radar. Ships beyond the range you enter here will not show up on the radar. Ships from the range you enter till half that value will show up as fading on the radar. Fog near and fog far multiply allow you to, in a kind of way, modify the density of the nebula, and it influences the range in which ships are visible with the naked eye. We will ignore the old nebula box for the moment because that's legacy stuff. In the lower right corner there's two options. On the one hand, the number of stars slider, which allows you to modify the number of stars in the skybox, and on the other hand, the takes place inside subspace checkbox, which, when you tick it, puts the whole mission inside subspace. The environment map option is optional because the game will create its own environment map, but if you need a custom one you can select one here. Just above that is the skybox configuration. If you want your mission to take place in something else than regular space, you can create your own custom skybox, for example the atmosphere of a planet or the inside of a space station or something like that. As that is advanced stuff, we will not go into too much detail about it here. Right above that is the ambient light selection, where you can configure the color of your ambient light. By default it's kind of a neutral light, but if you want, for example, your mission to take place close to a red giant, you want the ambient light to be a lot redder, and so you can configure that here. Okay, and then we come to the bitmaps and suns boxes because they are quite similar. And these are the standard option how to configure the background for your skybox. The sun selection allows you to place one or many suns, which not only show up as a bright ball of light but also emit light themselves as suns would, which creates shadows. On the left you can select from a wide array of background bitmaps, for example nebulae, planets, or if you add custom stuff, anything else. The placement of bitmaps and suns works the same. You have kind of an virtual sphere around your skybox on which you place those textures by using four values: pitch, bank, heading and the scale. The latter being a simple value for suns, but for bitmaps you can configure the scale for both the X and Y axes. Scale is easy to understand, it defines the size of the bitmap or sun. Pitch, bank and heading are terms you can also find in the domain of aviation, because there they are used to identify the orientation of a plane inside three-dimensional space. So how does this work? Pitch and heading indicate the center point of your bitmap on the X and Y axes. Imagine standing at the center of our virtual sphere and looking at a point directly in front of you, then you would look at pitch 0, heading 0. When you change pitch, you move that point on the Y axis in clockwise rotation, which means that if you increase the pitch, then the point moves higher up. A pitch of 90 would be directly above you, while a pitch of 180 would be behind you. A pitch of 360 would be just the same point as pitch 0. It's a 360-degree circle. Heading, on the other hand, moves the center point around counterclockwise on the X-axis. So a heading of 90 degrees would be on your left, a heading of 180 would be behind you, and a heading of 270 would be on your right. Again, it's a 360-degree circle. With those two values, you can place the center point for our star or bitmap at every point on our virtual sphere. If those two are sufficient, what's bank for then? Well, bank allows you to rotate your whole bitmap clockwise. That might be interesting for planet bitmaps, which might have a light side and a dark side, and you have to rotate it so the light side faces towards the position of your sun in that map. For the positioning of suns, that bank value is kind of useless because they don't care which bank they have. With the add and delete buttons, you can add as many bitmaps and or suns as you like, but just keep in mind the more you add, the more complex the background for this mission gets, which might put more strain on the graphics card. The divisions fields on bitmaps are legacy stuff and were used in older generations of FreeSpace to partition the bitmaps into sectors so they become easier to load, but on modern hardware that's not really necessary anymore. At the top you can find convenience features like the background import, which allows you to import the whole background setting from another FreeSpace mission. That of course is especially useful if you have several missions that take place in the same star system, so you want all of your maps to have the same background to indicate that they are in the same system. The selections of background 1 and background 2 allows you to compare different background settings, but background 1 is the one that will actually be used in the game. The purpose of that is that you can import two different background settings, swap them, compare them, and decide which one will be the one to be used in the mission. Okay, that's it for the background editor. The handling of pitch and heading values for your bitmaps and suns might be a bit strange at first, but once you get it, then you can use it and place your bitmaps as precisely as you want. In the next video we will have a look at another option to configure the environment in which your mission takes place, the asteroid fields editor. So please stay tuned for that. Thank you so far for watching, see you again in this next video if you like to. Until then, take care and goodbye.